beautiful people, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jennifer Diamond, and I live a whole food, plant exclusive, sos-free, gluten-free lifestyle for health and well-being, which gave me my life back, and it can help improve yours too. Today, I thought I would bring you along and show you what I eat in a day. Let's go. So I actually just got back from a walk with Remy, and him and I did very well. And I just had my weighted belt on for this walk and the wrist weights, but just before the camera went on, I decided to add the vest. And so anyways, the first thing I do in the morning, besides drink some regular water, is I try to have, I don't know, 1 to 2 glasses with either lemon or lime in it. And so that's what I'm currently drinking right now. I really enjoy the taste of it, but I know it's not super good for my teeth, so I like to drink it through a straw. I also usually like to complete that before I do anything else. And normally I would follow it with maybe a smoothie of some sort, a green smoothie, or a lot of fresh fruit. And I'm usually not hungry right away. But today I woke up famished. I'm starving. And so I decided, you know what? I'm going to make something hearty, and I'm going to get going with my food right away. So I'm going to show you what we're making, and we'll do that together right now. That is so tasty. Anyways, I will finish that, and then I usually like to wait like a little bit before I eat. So I'm going to be sipping on that while we prepare this. And so what I decided to make was a veggie tofu stir fry. No.
Oh, brother.
What I decided to make is a veggie tofu scramble. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start with a bowl. And I already have the ingredients ready to go. And what I want to do first is add some things into the bowl. The first thing I'm going to add is some unsweetened soy milk. You can use any plant milk. If you want to get something creamier, go for oat milk. And I'm just going to put in, I don't know, 1/3 cup, maybe a little bit more, depending on how much you're using. And you can always add more if we need it. And then I'm going to add some seasonings to this. Now, what I have here is some no salt seasoning, some turmeric, some parsley. We have granulated onion and garlic. And I think that's it. I do also have a little pinch of dulse. Now, I can put it in here, which I'm going to, or I can leave it for later. But I think what I'm going to do is just, I don't know, add it all right in there. Doesn't that already look pretty? And then this is an optional thing, but I'm going to go ahead and add it because this is raw tahini. It's made of sesame seeds, and it's important for me to have some sesame seeds because it's good for iron. And so I'm going to add a little bit of this right into the bowl. I'm just going to do like a teaspoon. And there we go. Now, you don't have to use this at all. You could even cut it in half and use a 1/2 teaspoon. Anyways, that's what we're going to do. And then the last thing I'm going to add is some nutritional yeast. There we go. So that's all good to go. I'm going to go ahead and take this cutting board with all these beautiful vegetables and kind of pivot them a little bit. And then I'm going to whisk this together, and then we're going to add some tofu. The tofu, let me get my whisk. There we go. The tofu has already been pressed or drained, and you can see that this isn't very wet, so that's why I think I might add a little bit more liquid to it. Let me just I'll measure it just so we know what I'm doing here. So I think this is going to be more like a half a cup. You can play around with it depending on if you decide to use the tahini, or if maybe you don't want the nutritional yeast. You could certainly use more turmeric. It's really flexible, but you want to have it kind of more like this consistency here. See, look, where it's runny and it's not super dry. And just incorporate everything together. I'm gonna have a sip of my lemon water. Okay, and so now what I want to do is take the tofu and just kind of squeeze it and crumble it and let it kind of go into this marinade. I love squeezing and playing with my food. It's so fun. If you don't want to do it this way, you can cut it up or, kind of crumble it in a different bowl with a fork, but this is how I like to do it. And there we have it. So let me rinse my hands, and now we're going to mix this up and set it aside. Okay, so you can see that I just want to coat the tofu really well. And again, if you feel like you want it to be a little more wet, you can certainly add more liquid to it. I kind of feel like I want a little more liquid. Tofu is so good about absorbing liquids. And I think I am just going to add a little bit more. So and I'm going to measure it again just because. So there we go. Okay, so for me, it ended up being pretty much a cup of liquid. And this is what I'm kind of looking for. See how it's kind of a little more wet and it's all incorporated. And now we're just going to set this aside. I'm rinsing off my utensil. And then we're going to come over here and we are going to put our stovetop on. We want to get that heating up. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about the ingredients I have while that heats up, which won't take very long. But I have some Yukon Gold potatoes. I actually cooked these yesterday in the Instant Pot and chopped them. You can cube them. You can cut them, this big or much smaller. You can dice them. It's pretty much whatever you want, but they are pre-cooked. And I also have some mycova beans. You can use any kind of white bean. Just make sure they're cooked. Even if they're in the can, then just drain them and set them aside. These are cooked. I had them frozen and then I thawed them out, and these I made homemade. So I'm going to set those aside for now, but they are going to be going in. And then back to this, we have some bell peppers. I've got yellow, red, and orange. You can use one or all, whatever you'd like. These were fresh, they were cut, and then I had frozen them. So I took them out of the freezer, and you can use frozen if you want, but I just like them kind of chopped up. And then in between here, you can't really see it because I smashed them together, but I have some minced garlic because I just love garlic. And then I have an onion here. You can use frozen pre-diced onion. They have them at Trader Joe's, but this was fresh and I just chopped it up really well. It was one onion. And then I have I was out of fresh mushrooms. What a crime. But I just had frozen mushrooms. And the mushrooms that I have are mixed. They're mixed frozen mushrooms. You can use anything you want, but if you don't like mushrooms, which I know, it's true, some people don't like it. My husband is not a huge fan, but I just love them. But if if any of this doesn't work for you, go ahead and skip it or put in something else. You could do zucchini, or you could do even, broccoli or any kind of cruciferous. Just make them cut up really well. And then I've got a full bunch, I'll call it, of kale, and it's washed and everything. I'm just going to chop it a little bit, and I think the pan is ready to go. And you know me, I don't use any oil, so we are not gonna be cooking with oil. And I can chop this a little bit better in a minute anyways. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take the onions, the mushrooms, and the bell peppers, and even the garlic. And I'm gonna go ahead and add it in here, turning down the flame. Let's make sure the pan is hot. So I'm taking a little water. I'd say that's hot. Hot. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my scooper here. And there is a better way to do it than what I'm about to do, but this is what I'm doing. It's kind of adding that all right in there. And I turned the fire down. I want the flame on a medium to low. The right way to do this would be to bring the food to the pan and not cross across. So let's do it the right way. And so I just want you to be able to see, and I'm just gonna grab everything except the kale and the potatoes for now. And it already is smelling delicious. So let's put this back over here and give it a little mix. And I just want to cook it until the onions are translucent and that the mushrooms and everything, it seems, cooked to my liking. I'm going to turn the flame between low and medium. I'm going to put the lid on with a little bit of space, so I want the steam to be able to escape. And I also want to make sure that I get most of the liquid out, if not all the liquid. Now, if I notice that it's starting to brown, it's okay. I can add a tablespoon of water or vegetable broth and deglaze the pan, and it would be fine. So let's go back here for a minute and finish chopping this up. Now, you could take if you wanted to, the potatoes and put them in the oven. You could actually put this all in the oven, and then it would give it more of like a brownish, kind of crunchier outside. You can even put it in an air fryer and add it later, but I'm just gonna add everything, kind of do a one pan type thing. And so anyways, we're ready to go. So let's take a peek at the veggies, give them a stir, and while I'm doing that, I'm gonna continue to sip on my lemon water. Now, a lot of times I don't have my weighted vest on at the same time that I have the belt and the wrist weights. I kind of change them up, and then sometimes I wear them all, but like I said, normally I don't really cook in the kitchen a lot lately for breakfast, but I'm excited to do this, and today it's what I'm doing. So I am gonna put the flame up a little bit higher again, and then I'm gonna continue to enjoy sipping on my water, and we'll be back in a few minutes when it's time to check that. You know what? I want to check on these veggies, but I'm also feeling, whoops, like I want to add a little bit more spices and flavor to this. So let me see how this is going. I'm getting overexcited. Let's just check this. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. So it's nice and wet. All the liquids are coming out. Sometimes you'll have more liquid if it's like something that was frozen versus something that was raw. And that's okay. You just want to continue to cook it. And then I want to add some paprika because I think that'll be fun. I just have a regular paprika. You could use smoked paprika. I'm going to add some no salt seasoning and granulated onion and some more granulated garlic into this. Even though we put a bunch of stuff into the tofu mixture, I want to add some more here. So normally I would just kind of eyeball it, but I'm going to measure it just for the heck of it. I'm going to do a 1/4 teaspoon of the paprika and probably about a 1/2 teaspoon of the rest of these. What's really wonderful about eating this way is that you can get a lot of flavors in spices, and so don't be afraid to use spices and to be super generous with them. This for somebody might not even be enough. Maybe you'd want to double the amount of spices, and that's fine. The idea is to replace whatever we're used to when we use salt, you know, and because you don't really need it. I'm also going to add some ground pepper, and I wanted to add ground pepper here, so I'm just going to do that as well while I'm thinking about it. I tend to forget the ground pepper. I don't know why, but okay, so now I'm just going to mix this up so this is nice and flavored as well. And it seems to be coming along. So you can see how the onions are looking pretty translucent. Can you see that? They can cook a little bit longer, but at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add some of our other ingredients. I'm going to add our potato and our beans. And I'm going to do it the right way. I'm going to bring the tray over here and show you the right way to do this. So I'm going to put the potatoes right in there. And I'm going to put the beans, all the beans just right in there. Whoops, we got a runner here, this potato. So, oh dear. And I will grab this guy and continue to just let this cook up. And I mean, it's already all cooked, so now it's just a matter of letting it get nice and hot. And like I said, if you prefer your potatoes, you know, more like hash brownie or more like, you know, with a golden, you could put those in the oven or air fryer ahead of time and skip this part of adding them here. I'm fine with either way. I do like my potatoes to be browned, but I'm so hungry that I just want to get it cooked. So I'm going to go ahead and let that sit and do its thing. And then I'm going to add the last but not least, we're going to add this beautiful kale. And, you know, you don't have to wait. I mean, you could add the kale with that, but I really wanted to incorporate it first. So I'm just going to give it a minute. Going to add the kale. We're going to cook that down for another minute, and then we're going to add this. Now, let's say you didn't like kale, you didn't have kale. You could use spinach. You could use any other green that you want. And I'm going to turn the flame down now because I feel like it is starting to stick. And I want to just kind of mix this up and let the kale wilt, or whatever green that you choose, you're going to want to let it wilt in the pan. And that doesn't take too long. All right, and so the last thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cook this scramble up. Now, what you could do is you could wait till this is completely done, that it's completely wilted, and you can actually pour it into a bowl and reuse this to cook this. I am going to cook them separately and then mix them together. If you don't care, you could mix them all together, but I just feel like I have a little more control if I have them cooking separately at this point. So let me grab another pan that we're going to use, and I'm going to put this in right now. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and take our scramble. Let me get my spatula, and I'm just going to put the whole thing right in here. Oh, it smells so good. I wish we had smell-o-vision, right? Or if YouTube could offer some kind of scent button where you could actually kind of smell like you were standing here with me. Wouldn't that be great? And you could see, look at this is bubbling up, so I'm going to turn it down. And you just want to cook this just like you would cook scrambled eggs, if you know, because this is a scrambled tofu scramble. And so it might remind you of that. And some people like it a little more wet. Some people like it drier. So just cook accordingly. If you like it more wet, you could even add a little bit more liquid, the soy or whatever plant milk. And if you want it a little dry, just cook it a little more and it will cook right out. And so I'm gonna go ahead and let that do its thing on a medium heat, and then we're gonna recheck this. We're almost done. The other thing I was gonna say is there's a lot of different ways that you could enjoy this. You could just put it all on top of a bed of rice, or you don't even need anything. You could just put it all in a gigantic bowl. You could add salsa on top of it, which is really great, or chorizo or cholula or any kind of spice that you want. And then you could also wrap it in a tortilla if you're into that. They have all kinds of beautiful corn tortillas that you can get out there that don't have oil or salt, or you can make them yourself. And so that's kind of how I am planning on using this. Now, I don't believe that I'm going to be able to eat all of this in one sitting. Of course not. But I like to make a lot so that tomorrow I will have leftovers. Or, you know, if Todd wants to join me and have this, then we'll be able to have it for a couple of meals. Isn't that great? And so give me just a minute. I'm going to clean up, and then we're going to check on everything, serve it, and taste it. Oh yeah, look at that. This is exactly what I'm looking for. See how the green is nice and wilted? It's sticking just a tiny bit at the bottom, but I'm okay with that. And if you're not okay with that, then go ahead and put it in a pan, like I said, and cook it in the oven. I'm gonna call this done. Give it a little more black pepper. Now, if you like it spicy, you could also add some chipotle, like chili seasoning, or fresh jalapeno, or even serrano peppers like what we have. But I'm going for a more mild today for myself, but you can always add that. And I know that my husband enjoys things really spicy, or a lot more spicy than I do. So I will suggest that he add maybe some other spices to it. So look what we have here. Oh my goodness, wait. Okay, that looks good, doesn't it? Yum. All this goodness, it's gonna fill me up and make me feel really great. You could even do some chopped tomatoes and fresh avocado, which I don't have any chopped tomatoes right now, but I do have fresh avocado. Maybe I'll take a little out. If you want to fold this in, you can certainly do that. I'm just going to mix the little bit of black pepper, and I'm just going to kind of start by putting it on top, and I can mix that in if I want. Look at that! Yay! Okay, I did bring out we have some salsa here, and I know that Todd enjoys that, but you don't need to do that if you're watching. This does have a little bit of sodium, or you can make your own. I am gonna grab a little bit of avocado and taste this. Hang tight. Okay, so close, so close. If you haven't seen my how to cut and deal and store my avocado, check out my avocado video. We'll link it above, and if you haven't seen that, maybe it will help you check out the tips that I use, so that when I make avocado and I don't use it all, then I still don't have to waste it or throw it out. There we go. Yeah, I really think that a little bit of tomato would just make the color pop. So I might, just for color, just to show you guys, add just a tiny bit here, and we'll have Todd come in and taste this with me. Look at that. How's that? You know? All right. So I am going to go ahead and taste it, and then we'll see if Todd's available. But here it is. Look at this. Yum. Okay, I want to get a little bit of everything, if I can, if that's possible, in one bite. I really like it. It's very mild. So if you're one for hot and spicy, you're gonna definitely want during the seasonings to add some kind of chili or chipotle to it. And but I really, really like it. So I'm gonna see if Todd will come in here and try it with me before we head out. Todd, do you wanna come in here? Are you available? Oh, you're right here?
I am right here.
Around the corner.
It's hard to avoid the smell that's now wafting through the house.
Yeah, look what we made, or I made.
Fantastic.
We made.
Outstanding.
So it's not, whoops,
buddy.
careful, Remy.
Hey,
Remy's here. Hi, Remy. It's not super spicy.
Okay.
I did put a little salsa here, hoping that maybe you would try that part.
Sure.
But do whatever you want, and know that you can add chipotle and other things to it.
Outstanding.
Okay.
Let's give it a whirl. So we get some of the potato. I don't know what's underneath all of this. I'm making a complete abomination of your knife presentation.
It's okay.
It's super good.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. It's mild, right? So if you wanted to spice it up, you can.
It's really good. I mean, it's a nice way to kind of start the day. I mean, I think it's perfectly well seasoned. I'm not sure I would add anything to it.
Yay! Would you like it in a bowl like this? Or would you prefer it in like a tortilla?
I would like it in anything that makes it easier for me to eat.
Okay, so there you have it, everyone.
A bowl, I mean, it'd be great in, as like a breakfast taco or a burrito.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, but you don't have to. You could certainly just do it this way.
And you could easily just eat it just like that.
Yay. So, okay, well, thank you, everyone. I hope that you try this, and I'm going to have this, and then I am going to continue on what I eat in a day. Oh, man, was that delicious. I ate that entire bowl, and I don't know if it looked like a lot, because this is kind of a wide bowl, but it was very filling. Now, I did take my weighted vest off while I ate, and I am also going to leave it off because I'm going to go and do a workout next, and then I'll be adding it back on. But, normally when I eat breakfast, I really enjoy fresh berries and lots of fruit. Like yesterday, I had an entire papaya to myself, and I kind of wish that I had fresh strawberries. I do have frozen ones, but I don't want to wait for them to thaw. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to eat some beautiful nectarines, and I'll try one, and if I'm still feeling like I want another, then I've got it here, and then I'll probably take about a 5 or 10 minute break, and then I'm going to go work out. So anyways, what kind of fruit do you eat? Man, these are called like stone fruit because they have that stone in the middle, or the pit. I never knew that until recently. In the comments, leave me your favorite fruit. Do you have a favorite fruit? It's so many to choose from. I wouldn't be able to just pick one, but this one tastes delicious. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and then you'll be notified when I go live or post new videos. And if you have subscribed, thank you so much. I really appreciate you helping me to spread the word. It allows my content to reach other people. And so don't forget to hit the like button. So I gotta go do this. I gotta pump some iron, and I will see you later. Okay, it's the afternoon and I am hungry again. I ended up having not only both of those nectarines you saw me holding earlier today, but a third one, and they were all really, really delicious. So now it's lunchtime for me. It's been a handful of hours, and I'm basically having leftovers, and I love leftovers. So I have some leftovers here. I just took the lid off, and this is basically a stir fry that has potatoes in it and cauliflower, and it's got zoodles, like zucchinis that I have spiralized, and then it also has some chickpea pasta and all kinds of other things. What else is in here? Onion and bell peppers and mushrooms and garlic. So I'm going to take this and reheat it in this pan. I'd prefer to do that over the microwave. So let me start that. That looks yummy. So I am super big on any opportunity for leftovers. And I'm just going to cover this and just allow it to kind of, this way it won't burn. If I cover it, it kind of makes like a steam type of thing. And I always like to leave a little crack, so we've got a little crack there. Now, while that's heating up, I just grabbed my a bowl that I had in the fridge that has some salad stuff in it, and I'm just gonna kind of grab some of this and just place it in the bowl here. I kind of think I want to add some other greens to this because this is basically spinach. And I've got some romaine over here that I just cleaned, so I'm going to add that. I've got some extra cucumber. I'm going to add some of that. I've got some carrots that were the end of a carrot that I shredded up, and you can't see it because I just mixed it in there, but I've also got some ginger. And here's the ginger. I took some of it and I already took care of it. So I'm just going to take some of these and just slice this up all clean and nice, just to add a different variety in the greens for my salad. And I just like to chop it a little bit. And if you want to chop it even further, you could do that. So I'm going to just pile this up high and see if I can eat as much of it as as I can, because that is a big bowl there too. So I'll definitely start on that first. Not start on it first. I'll have like half of this and then I'll have that. And then if I finish this, great. Otherwise, I can always eat it a little later. Okay, so the other thing that I want to do is put this aside, and I still have some more, right? And I have plenty of lettuce, and I have more carrots and cucumber and other things that I can add into it at a later time or tomorrow. But I want to add a few other things. So I'm just going to put a little bit of walnuts. I don't do this every time. This is what I'm doing today. And I've got some sunflower seeds. So I'm going to add some organic sunflower seeds. Just sprinkle a little on top. There we go. And some hemp seeds. I really do like to use hemp seeds a lot. So I am definitely going to be putting the hemp seeds in. Here they are. And I don't really measure them. I mean, I guess I could, but I'm just going to kind of sprinkle them on. There we go. Now I know that this morning you saw me use some of the dulse. I try to use it once a day, but because I didn't finish all that tofu scrambler, I'm going to go ahead and just crumble up a little bit here as well to help me get iodine. And I really like the dulse. I'm going to take a step over here and just see how this is coming along. See, it's just heating up nicely. Oh yeah, that's delicious. And I also enjoy storing leftovers in the freezer. And then I can just heat those up, soups and stews and chilies and things like that. Okay, so this for the most part is ready. I do want to add some lemon juice. I have it in this container, but sometimes I have fresh lemon, and I just like to put a little bit on there. It's not for everyone, but it's good for me. And then I have the bottom of some salad dressing that I made, and I think I might mix that in as well. And then I have this big container of fruit, so I'm gonna work on a lot of that, and that is gonna be my lunch. Now, I just recently ended up making some cornbread muffins, and I'm gonna be taking them to an event that we're going to. And so anyways, check that video out if you haven't seen it. I'll link it above. But I did taste one, and so I already had one, so I want to show you what it is and what I had. And that is the cornbread muffin. And I guess that I'll probably have another one. So that is that. Yummy. There is some tomato in here, tomato sauce and seasonings, and that's why it kind of looks a little bit reddish. It wasn't super like, you know, a lot of it like pasta sauce would have it, but I had some on there yesterday and it really gave it a nice flavor. So I'll just take a few minutes and let that keep heating, and then I will come back on and show you the finished plated plate, and then I gotta get eating. So hang tight, give me a few minutes. Okay, so I'm just gonna take some of this gorgeous dressing. This is a homemade dressing, and add it to the lemon that I put, the lemon juice. And this is gonna be good. And I also am gonna add, I don't know, a little flavor on top, little flavor. I like to put spices and stuff on my salad. And so I think this is probably ready. So let me check this. Oh yeah, look at that. Woo, nice and hot. Lunchtime. Oh my gosh. Okay. Woo, it's starting to get a little bit brown at the bottom. It's starting to burn a little. So in that case, I could cook it a little longer and put a little bit of water or vegetable broth, and it will deglaze the pan. But I'm too hungry, so I don't care. I'm just gonna pour it in here. Yum. And you can see it's a little bit, but not too bad. It's just leftovers. Yum, yum, yum. I'm okay with that. Here you go. I'm gonna have some lunch. I'll see you soon. I'll let you know if I eat all this. And I just also want to let you know, for dinner, this might be enough for me sometimes, especially if it's later in the day. But if it's not, then I would look to see if maybe having some steamed broccoli or something. But tonight we were invited to go to an event at some friends, and so I will probably be having a little bit there, and I'm gonna hope to be able to film a little bit there. If not, I'll post some pictures, but this is for lunch. Here we go. So, as far as lunch went, my eyes were much bigger than my stomach, and I did not even eat half of what you saw on my plate. So I still have more of that for tomorrow. But I did eat probably I don't know, not just under half of the heated up stir fry, and maybe probably the same amount with the salad. And so then we ended up going to our friends, and they had a great spread. Everybody brought stuff, and so I was able to enjoy an African peanut stew. It was really, really good, or maybe it was an African peanut soup, but it was delicious, and it had sweet potatoes and all kinds of beans and kale and all that good stuff. And then we also had kale chips, which were made in a dehydrator. There were fresh figs and a melon there, and it was really good. We, of course, brought the some homemade crackers and some cornbread muffins, and there was a beautiful green salad that had pomegranate seeds and all kinds of yummy stuff with a homemade dressing. Oh, it was really, really delicious. And we just really had a good time. And so anyways, that, my friends, is what I ate in a day. I'm so happy that you came along with me. And it's been a long day. I'm very full, and I just hope that it inspires you, whether you're home or you're away, that you could eat really delicious, healthy, nutritious food. So don't forget to eat your greens, and don't forget to give plants a chance. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.